girl hid under the bed and shivered. A foot with 10 fingers jumped down. It moved slowly and began to look for the girl. The girl held her breath, not daring to move. At that moment the monster roared. It seemed to be calling for its companions. The girl thought she was dead this time, but the monster turned toward the window. Then it disappeared into the night. The girl dared to let out a long breath. She hurriedly closed the bedroom window, then quietly came to the living room, intending to close the door of the house as well. Suddenly there was a strange noise coming from the roof. Annie felt her heart pounding in her throat once more. She could only speed up her steps and rush downstairs. She thought she was safe when she closed the door, but all the appliances suddenly flashed on and off, and they made ear-splitting noises. She hurriedly unplugged the power supply, and finally got everything back to calm. Annie picked up the phone to call the police, but the ear-piercing sound started again, and the refrigerator got spooky. Even worse, the monster had actually blocked the stairs. She retreated to the kitchen and hid in the corner. The phone was also hung up by the monster. The rapid breathing still exposed her. The refrigerator was controlled again, trapping her directly inside. The monster was approaching step by step. Annie finally saw his true face. It was actually an alien with big eyes. Annie screamed and pushed the monster away. Then Annie rushed towards the door, but the monster took control of the door. The girl was knocked out instantly. Annie woke up and hurriedly squirmed toward the room, but her body was actually out of control. In a panic she grabbed a pointy object, accidentally plunged into the alien's head. The alien died instantly. Annie passed out from the shock. She woke up the next day, looking at the fallen alien on the ground. Annie realized that everything last night was real. She got a piece of cloth to cover up the alien. Then she wanted to call the police, but her home phone was no longer working, and all electrical appliances had lost their functions. Obviously, the alien could control all electrically charged objects. Annie decided to go out and get help, but strangely there was no one on the road. An ambulance overturned on the highway. Nearby homes were also attacked. She wasn't the only one who encountered aliens last night. Just then, huge dark clouds began to cover the town, and it kept closing in on Annie's location. She had to run in the direction of her home. On the way, she saw her neighbors who had strangely disappeared. They were gathered together with their right hands raised, and they were staring blankly into the dark clouds. It looked very eerie, and something seemed to be wriggling in their throats. Then a man spotted Annie. She didn't dare to stay a moment and rushed away. The dark cloud was getting closer and closer. Annie was sure the aliens would come for revenge, so she adjusted her mind and took out a lighter, and lit candles to light up the house, and boiled 4 pots of boiling water. She was ready to fight the aliens to the death.